Hey everyone. So this is a video that's going to show you the steps in how to do Thursday's do activity, which is going to be called planar apple blending. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to learn how to do the on-screen mixing technique that I demonstrated in a previous class. We're going to be using this file right here called apple planar, and planar just means that all of the surfaces have been painted in a planar fashion, sort of a geometric fashion. And this is a technique that a lot of artists will do where they figure out how the light is hitting an object and draw it as if it was sort of a rough, faceted, not smooth object. And then they go through and then they blend, using the on-screen mixing technique, blend through these planes so that way it looks nice and smooth. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to download this image here. So if you have a mouse, you can right mouse click and then you can do save image as. And I'm going to go ahead and save it to my desktop. For those of you on a Chromebook, you can press with 2 fingers, and that should be a right mouse click for you. And then you can go ahead and save it to your downloads folder. That's a really great place to do that. Okay, next you're going to then go over to Pixlr, and you're going to always open up the advanced editor. And we're going to go ahead and, on the left-hand side here, click on Open Image, and go to your downloads folder where you downloaded it. In my case, it's the desktop. Click Open, and there you go. So now I can go ahead and zoom on in. All right, so now we're going to want to go ahead and create a brand new layer. So click on Brand New Layer. If you don't like seeing this pop up here, you can click on this right here. It says Don't Show Me Again, and just click on Empty. 99% of the time, we're going to want an empty layer anyway. So that's really good to do. So now you just get that there. And I'm going to go ahead and rename my layer. And I'm just going to call this on-screen blend. And there we go. All right, so now I'm going to press B for the brush tool. Oops, there we go. And settings. So for a brush, I'm going to recommend that you start off with a soft edge brush. So the second row here, I'm going to go ahead and try a size of 50 or so. Yeah, 50 seems pretty good. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go a little smaller. I'm going to go about size 20. Yeah, about size 20. This is kind of a smaller image. And remember that the way you want to do it is you want to press I for the color picker, and then I'm going to sample this first value right here. And then I'm going to brush downward into this value over here. Then I'll reverse it and I'll brush this value up here and I'll kind of mix the two together. Okay? Another tip is when you come back up here to the brush picker, we first of all want to change the opacity. Right now it's at 100%. I would say start at 50% and you can even go lower. So I'm going to go about 40% and see how that feels. The next tip is right here. This is the brush tip and circular is the default. I oftentimes recommend squashing it down into an ellipse. So there you go, something like that. I just find it gives a better result. And then you have this little triangle right here, which allows you to angle it. And what I recommend you do, and I'll demonstrate this live in class, I recommend that you have it angled for the direction that you're going to be brushing. So if I'm brushing vertically here, going top to down, I want it facing like this. If I'm going left to right or right to left, I would then rotate the head so that it's like this. So you want it going in the direction that you're going to be going at. If you're going at an angle, you would have it something like that at a 45-degree angle. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my brush tip like that, and here we go. Remember, you can change your brush size on the fly by pressing comma to make it smaller and period to make it larger. So that way, once you get your brush tip set up, you get your opacity set up, you really don't have to go back up there to do that. So again, I'm going to press I, sample that color, B to go back to the brush tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and very lightly start brushing downward. Now if I feel, what you're going to see that I'm getting is you're going to see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but I'm getting this, it's called stepping, and it's where the brush tip is repeated over and over and over again, and I don't like that at all. So to fix that, you come back up here to the brush picker, and right here it's going to say step, and mine says 20%. I'm just going to go ahead and reduce it down to about 0%, so no stepping at all. Okay, now I'll go ahead and I'll brush, and you'll see that I'm getting it coming in just fine. So I like that. What I don't like though is I don't like the opacity, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to go ahead and press E to just erase, and this is where doing this on a separate layer is awesome. I can't damage the layer below it. So I'm going to go down to about 20%. Again, I would rather be more careful. All right, so again, I to sample, B to brush, and there we go. That's better right there. So again, I to sample the darker color, B to brush, and I'll go ahead and brush it back up. Then I will, once I get the two of them mixing in the middle here, I'll press I, I'll sample an in-between color, B to brush, and I'll go ahead and do that there. And I apologize for that blue dot on my cursor there if it is making it more difficult for you. So again, play with the opacity until you find that sweet spot. It might even be about 15% for me. If you feel like it's too dark or too light, again, do the same thing. I to sample, grab that color B. You're really going to be going between I and B. So get your fingers over there. Okay, so now that's going all right. Now, I actually don't like making it perfect. I like being able to see some of the brush strokes because to me, it makes it seem a little bit more natural and painterly, less digital. Okay, now I want to go ahead and demonstrate how to do some brush mixing or some paint mixing here. So again, I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to rotate the brush tip. So now I'm going horizontal. Again, my step is at 0. My opacity is at 15%. I'm going to press I, sample this color here, go back to B, and I'm just going to brush it from left to right. Just do that initial. Something like that. There we go. Press I, sample the darker, B, bring it back over there. Like that. And once I feel like I've got a good blending between the two, then I to sample B, and now I can go ahead and kind of blur those lines. I wish there was a hotkey to change the opacity on the fly while I'm down here so I don't have to keep going back up here, but I don't know of one. If you do know of one, let me know. Okay, so again, I, B. Watch out that you don't cover up that shine there. So again, depending on your hand, the pressure you have, the device you have, you might need to really play around with the opacity slider. I'm finding that even 15% on mine sometimes feels like it's too strong. So again, just play with it, and I think you'll find what really works out. So there we go. I'm kind of liking that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Again, I personally like seeing some of the paint strokes so it actually looks textured, and it's got that almost oil painting look to it. So I'm just going to stop here because the video is coming up on 10 minutes. And now you, of course, would want to blend this one downward, blend this one upward a little bit, and follow the contour of the shape. You really want to be thinking about the form of the subject here. So this round spherical shape of an apple. Of course, when you get to these little teeny tiny detailed areas, 1, zoom in, 2, make your brush size smaller so that it can fit the area. Don't stay with the same brush settings. You will be very sorry about that. If you accidentally brush over the highlights over here, you could certainly manually paint those back in. That is perfectly fine. Okay, so good luck with this. I hope you are successful. I know you will be, and just don't give up. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.